Welcome to the Family First Life America Training Center weekly agency call. I have a great call for you today. I've got three excellent people who have been selling their butts off, going to share some tips with you, things that they're doing that are out of the box that you probably haven't thought of that's helping them make some sales. And so I'm looking forward to that coming up about here in a minute. But I'll go over some stuff real quick. We've got our weekly numbers just came out, so check this out. Weekly numbers for the week. Past 7 days, Family First Life America submitted $112,627 in premium. 118 apps were written. That means 118 families were protected, and by 39 agents. So great job, everybody. On top of that, we had 4 brand new agents write their first policy: DeCarlos Black, Andy M., Matthew L., and John R. So great job, all the brand new agents selling their first policies and getting on the leaderboard. The big thing that I will tell you in life is that getting on the leaderboard isn't the hardest part. It's staying on the leaderboard. So it's about consistency. If you'll keep doing these simple things like buying leads and going out there and protecting families, you'll continue to put money in your bank account and take care of your family. So great to everybody that ran this week. Let's shout out a few people. The top 10, Alexander Strait wrote 4 apps for $4,119. Genevieve O wrote 5 apps for $4,282. Aline M, who was on the call last week, came back to back, had another great week. Great job, Aline. 4 apps for $4,373. Leonard M wrote a big one with 1 app for $4,878. Shawn, who's on the call today, going to share with us how he wrote 4 apps for $6,624. Great job, Shawn. Looking forward to having you on the call. As well on the call today, Gage P out of Texas, 9 apps for $7,006. Coming in the top 4, Gabriel Hill, who consistently is in the top with 6 apps for $8,215. Julius Gilger, 9 apps for $8,750. Myself, 11 apps for $11,100. And the number 1 for the week, Al Vomsteeg, 3 apps for $12,835. There's no secret here why Gabe, Julius, and Al's teams are growing the fastest as far as adding new agents, new people wanting to work with them. It's because they're leading by example. So great job, Gabe, Julius, and Al for selling at a high level as well as consistently working on building your agency. Another great week, but this is a big thing to talk about as well. This has now ended. We're done with September. So I know that's weird to say because you're like, great, it's the 26th. Well, as far as your business goes, your business concern here with FFL right now is that September is over. So the production for September is over. Whatever you sold, whatever you submitted, it's stamped, it's done. That's the end of it. So whatever issue paid. So those are the numbers you hit for September. Now, good news, if you didn't hit your goal, that's okay. You got a brand new month started today to go out there and hit your goal. And October is a special month. It's the only month this year where you literally have 35 days in order to break a record. 30,000 issue paid, 40,000 issue paid. Whatever your goal is, you have the most days possible. And how does it work? Well, the way, and I've talked about this last week, FFL months run or weeks run Thursday to Thursday. So the FFL month ends the last Thursday of the month. Today, Thursday, September 26th, happens to be the last Thursday of September. So all days moving forward roll into October. So you've got a ton of month on top of October being a 31-day month. You know, extra days to run appointments, extra days for policies to issue, extra days for your team. So now a lot of our sales managers are pushing for senior sales managers. Some of our sales managers are pushing for a jump to vice president. And that's all possible due to the fact that you've got a significant width of volume, which put a significant width of days, which puts you in a great position to have as much possible business issue pay to have a great month. And big thing, guys, like it's about setting a goal, right? You want to anchor yourself to a goal and then pull yourself towards it. How am I going to get there? I don't know. What do I have to do to get there? I'll figure it out. But set a goal to start at least. So whether this month is 30,000, whether it's your first $20,000 month, if your goal is 10,000, you're probably part-time, and that's okay. But if your goal is 10,000 and you're full-time making money at FFL, you should probably reevaluate your career choices because that's not a significant amount of income to make here in this company. It's just it's a low level. It's a part-time income, especially on a full month, and especially an extra long month like a 5-week month that is October. but set a goal for 20,000, set a goal for 30,000. I know Julius is going for 40,000. I believe Gabe's going for 40,000. Myself, $40,000. Why not, right? Why not? Because it's there. We've got the leads. We've got the opportunity. We've got so much possibility to make money for our families and as well lead by example. So comes some exciting stuff for October. Get going. If you didn't hit what you wanted in September, let's make it happen in October. So a couple things coming up. We've got a big event coming up that I want to make sure a lot of people know about and start to take advantage of, because there's a couple big events coming up, right? There is an event. There's events all over. Kind of check Slack. We've got different events going on, but the one I want to focus on is the one in. Come on, email thing. We'll just show it this way. Email thing. The one coming up on November 21st. Okay, so November 21st, there's an event in Las Vegas. It's the last main event of the year, and it's one that I would highly encourage all of you to attend. Why? Well, because when you get around like-minded people, you start to do like-minded things, and these are the type of people that you're going to want to be around. And so this is the last event of the year. It's going to be on November 21st in Las Vegas. It's at the Aliante Hotel. Top speakers include Paul McLean will be there, Nick Ayala, Teresa, myself, Paul, Mark Mead, Andrew, Sean Mike will be in town. All the vendors will be there. When the vendors show up, the lead vendors, they often give away leads. And so if you're this side of the Mississippi, set a goal to get there. If you're other side of the Mississippi, well, there's one in Atlanta on the 7th, so go to that one. But the main thing is getting to these events. We don't do them that often. This isn't a daily thing where we make you come in the offices. This isn't a weekly thing. We don't have a lot of requirements here, right? Partially, that might be some people don't hit their goals because they don't have someone cattle prodding them behind to get them moving down the track to hit their goals. But, you know, we're all adults and you got to make your own decisions here. So we don't do a lot of mandatory, and this isn't mandatory. You can elect to do it. I'll tell you I will be there. I'll tell you Al will be there. I'll tell you Ashley will be there. Julius will be there. Gabe will be there. Jan will be there. Probably Alex will be in town. A lot of our top producers show up to these things. Irony that when top producers show up to events, they get better and they go make more money. Irony that a lot of people who don't make a lot of money don't show up to training events. And so it's just kind of like a simple thing, right? We know not to do certain things and we know to do certain things. Yet we all make mistakes. It's all good. We're God's highest form of creation, so we can make mistakes, but you also can fix it. So this is my encouragement to you. I'm telling you now, almost 60 days out, put this on your calendar. This is an important event to attend. There'll be over 500, nearly 1,000 people at this event. And this is one that I would highly encourage you to attend, highly encourage you to be at. And the reason for it is the education which you will get. After this event, there's no further training until convention, which is coming up in February. And we'll start talking about that then. But this is just a big thing. I want to make sure you guys saw it. There is the hotel is literally, here it is. It's called the Aliante, November 21st through 20th. I think there's only 40 rooms left. And check out how much rooms are. Click this button. Come on, internet. Find rooms. Rooms are $79, right there. $79. Deluxe King, Family First Life Convention, 400 square foot room. So, you know, share it with some people. Drive up together. You know, put yourself in a position, get to the event, be at the event, come be a part of this. The rooms are going to sell out, and then you might have to stay at the Holiday Inn across the street, and I wouldn't recommend that. Just book your room. If you don't go, I'll take it from you if you don't end up making it. You know, if you end up having a baby or getting mono or something happens and you drop a dresser on your toe, if something happens and you can't make it to the event, well, I'll pay for your room, but book it so you have it. That's what I'm trying to encourage you guys to do. So let me close out some of this and move on. But there we go. Really putting some love and effort into the 11/21 event. So what I want to have right now, real quick, I want to have one of our platinum producers, sales managers come up and teach a concept real quick that I think is getting drastically overlooked. And then we're going to get on our 3 guest speakers who are having fantastic weeks. $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 submit weeks. So you want to make sure we get these guys on. You hear what they have to teach you. But I want to get on one of our top guys, and he's going to talk about something that is getting, I think, overlooked too often. And often, I mean, when we're brand new producers, we're nervous, we're scared, we don't know exactly what to do, what to say, if we're doing it right, and we just kind of jump to what's easy. And I get calls from new agents. They'll say, hey, Grady, I just want to check with you. I've got a client who has diabetes. That's AIG, right? And I'm like, no, that's not AIG at all. You could probably even get them approved for HMS term with cash back. And so it's just like, there's a challenge, I think, for new agents wanting to do a good job, which I applaud you, but also not doing the best job of getting the most information before they make a decision, right? And so what I want to have is Julia's going to come up and talk about a couple different things that you can do, and especially a specific product at which you can use that will almost be in lieu of AIG. I mean, because the big thing about AIG, it's great. It covers people with active cancer, AIDS, right? We've got some significant health issues. But there's a lot of stuff that AIG isn't necessarily needing to be put on a client that you can put American Amicable. And if you don't have American Amicable yet, make sure you email Jade at Polson Financial or email contracting@fflamerica.com, and they will get you an American Amicable link sent out. It's an invite only, so make sure you've sold a few policies first before you request it. If you haven't sold a policy yet, you don't need American Amicable yet. You need to buy some leads and get on the phone. But as soon as you start doing that, we'll get you American Amicable, and we'll put you in a position where you can start to really better yourself and better your clients. But I'm bringing on Julius to kind of talk about this AIG, AMAM situation. So, situation, right? What's that guy's name?
What guy?
The Situation.
Oh, Mike the Situation, Jersey Shore in the house.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
So here's 1, 2,
all right.
3. You just go.
How do I project it onto the screen?
Share. And you pick.
Me?
Oh yeah.
I live Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
No, literally.
No, is that one? Which one's it on?
You can start with the first one. No, number 1 right here.
I don't know which one it's doing. It should have a green. No, there it is. Over there. It's got a green ring around it. There you go.
There you
1.
go.
So then you go.
Okay. All right. First and foremost, guys, before we go into, first off, Grady, thank you for having me on. Appreciate all the support and leadership that you provide us. Second is, before we even kind of get into the products and all that stuff, if you guys are new, whether you've written a few policies, you haven't written a few policies, but you're new to FFL, you're within 30, you're within 6, thank you. You're within 30, you're within 60 days. The one thing that I think most people may struggle with is they don't call their leader, okay? And why do they do that? Maybe it's uncomfortable to them to ask for help. Maybe there's a multitude of reasons. But number one, the first and foremost, whether you're on my team, Ashley, whoever's team, it doesn't matter. Whoever brought you into this business knows more than you. And if they don't, then their next leader does. But the point in all this is you have to be willing to be humble, leave your ego at the door, and just call your leader, because at the end of the day, all of us, we have the same mission, and our goal is to help you, okay? And our goal is to help you make sure that you're helping the client as best as we possibly can help them, put them in the best coverage that they can get, so they get what they need at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, this is a service business. And if we're not servicing our clients to the best degree that we can, guess what? Someone else is going to come behind them and do it. Does that make sense, guys? So make sure you start off by when you're in a home, you complete the financial inventory, you call your leader. They're going to help you. All right. So I just wanted to preface that, because I know there's some people that do that well and some people that don't. The ones that typically do that well, write more business, make more money, help more clients. It's not a surprise. It's a fact, okay? Now, we run across a multitude of health conditions in this business. Like Grady said, people have diabetes, people have different situations. And what I want to talk about is some of our new agents and maybe even some of our tenured agents are really quick to move to AIG, okay? If you guys don't know, AIG is a guaranteed issued product. So what does that mean? They're guaranteed to get the policy. But just because they're guaranteed to get the policy doesn't mean that's the best policy for them every single time. Now, certain situations, person has active cancer, person has active HIV or recently or whatever the case may be, there's no other option, right? But there's a lot of times where someone doesn't know, someone doesn't call their upline, and they're going to the backup, which is AIG. Now, or I shouldn't say the backup, the last option. What does that do? A, that doesn't necessarily service the clients the proper way. B, you as the agent are making the least amount of money possible you can humanly make. That's funny, but it sucks, right? Like, I don't know about you, but I want to make the complete opposite. I want to make the most money, right? And so why are we doing that? Because it's kind of comfortable and it's easy for some people, okay? We got to get uncomfortable. We got to kind of break down these barriers. So At the end of the day, American Amicable, like Grady said, if you guys have written some policies, if you haven't gotten off the starting block, stick with the carriers that you have right now. But if you've gotten off the starting block, you wrote a few policies, now let's get American Amicable in your utility belt. All right, so what do we do with American Amicable? Let me go ahead and share this real quick. Yeah, I got it. This one. Okay. All right, so you guys should be able to see, oh, hang on, I shared the wrong one. This one. All right, you guys should be able to see this on the screen now, right? You guys see that over there? Yeah. All right, so first and foremost, before you quote American Amicable, if you guys have written some Transamerica, you're gonna treat it like Transamerica. So for those of you that have written Transamerica, one of the keys to writing Transamerica policy is asking the questions on the application first to determine where they fall in the eligibility process, right? Because there's a few different levels that they can apply for. So what I want to show you first is I'm going to show you 3 different snapshots that we took right off of the underwriting questionnaire from American Amicable. So the first are the first 3 questions. Now, as you guys can see here, if you answer yes to any of these first 3 questions, that's going to be an automatic decline with American Amicable. So there's a few scenarios that we cannot cover with American Amicable, okay? As you guys can see, some of the top ones that I think that we get are cancer. Looks like congestive heart failure and HIV or AIDS. Those are the top 3 that I get anyway. And I think of those, most of you will probably have the same. I've been on a few hundred appointments now during my career, if not more than a few hundred here at FFL. And so those are the top 3 that I see in this business that we would potentially get an auto decline and you would actually have to go to AIG. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Okay. Now, if you have no on all these, now you're going to progress to the next level of questions. So the next set of questions, I'm going to share that real quick with you guys. Is right here. Okay, so now questions 4 through 7. So here, there's a few different things that we can potentially get them, or we'd ask them, I should say. So obviously, I'm not going to read through all these questions, but some of the common things that we get here are COPD, neuropathy, COPD, and a few others, okay? Now, there are some carriers that you can actually write to get immediate coverage specifically for COPD and or neuropathy. So and just to really pinpoint that, that's going to be a Transamerica. But if you can't get them immediate coverage, what's the alternative? So before you just go and pivot to AIG and move out the door and go on your merry way, you're going to want to see where they fall in this portion of the questions. So if you answer yes to one of these questions on 4 through 7, what that's going to do is this is going to act just like an AIG policy. It's going to be a return of premium policy, and it's graded. So let me explain what that means. If you guys are at home, if you guys are here and you don't know, take some quick notes so you remember this because you're going to need this in the homes. So return of premium, what that simply means is if they pass within their first, so let me take a step back. Their policy, if they selected a $10,000 face amount, does not become fully effective until they've been in the policy for more than 2 years, okay? So they got to pass 2 years first. Now, if a person happens to pass away in their first 2 years, what ends up happening is the client will pass on to the beneficiary 100% of what they put in. So for example, if they put in $100 a month and they passed away after a year, they've put in $1,200 into the policy. And then on top of that, they'll also pass along to the beneficiary 10%. So usually, and the reason why I explain it that way is when you tell a client you're going to pass on 110%, they're like, huh? But when I just break it down and say whatever you put in plus 10%, it just makes it easy for them. So if that's easy for you to explain to them, use it. If you like 110%, use that. It's just semantics really at the end of the day. But it's going to act the same way as an AIG. It's graded for 2 years and it passes on 100%, 110% of the premium they put in. Now, why are we talking about American Amicable? Well, like I just started with AIG, you make the lowest humanly possible amount of money And with American Amicable, you're going to make about 30, 35%, 50% more, excuse me.
Price is about the same.
Price is about the same, and you make about 50% more. So,
Better company.
so think about this. Just from a financial standpoint, let's not even talk about financial. We always want to put the client first, right? Shawn Mike, our CEO, says the way we operate is we got to do best by our clients first, our agents second, our company third, right? So for the client, is there a difference? Price-wise, it's flat. It's about the same, okay? Secondly, the experience for the client's going to be better, right? If you are a customer, do you want to deal with customer service and them being a pain in the you know what? No one wants to deal with that. No one wants to wait on hold. No one wants to deal with that type of experience. Now, I'm not saying IAG is like that all the time, but you're going to have a better overall customer experience for your customer with American Amicable. Does that make sense, guys? So from a client perspective, they have the same coverage, they have a better customer experience, and the price is about the same, okay? So the main difference is the customer experience to the customer, okay? Now, for us, the agent, we're making 50% more. So if we can do good by our customer and we make more money at the same time, is that a win-win? Absolutely, right? So if you can get them to get approved for a return of premium with AMM, you're going to want to go here because you're going to make more money and you're going to help the customer go into a better situation, okay? Second, or lastly, you're going to want to look at, so that's that portion. The next portion is the last set of questions, which I just want to hone in on here. And I think I may have closed it by accident, Grady. Is it in your messages? I completely exited.
It's okay. They can see in the app. Just log in the app, insuranceapplication.com.
That's fine. All right. So I won't share the last portion of it. I'll just kind of get to what I was trying to get to.
Everything. It's all good. Just hit the red X.
Okay. All right. And so the last set of questions, if you click, if you select yes in the last set of questions with American Amicable, they're going to be graded. Now, with American Amicable graded, it sounds like it's similar to an AIG policy, but it's actually a little different, okay? Because their graded policy works different where, let's say you have a $10,000 face amount. Well, year one, if a person passes away, the customer is going to get 30% of their death benefit within year one, okay? So 30% of 10,000, $3,000. In an AIG policy or in a return of premium policy, it would be whatever they put in plus 10%, which is always going to be less than 30%. Does that make sense? Year two, if they pass away, instead of them getting 110% of their premiums put in, they're going to get 70%. So in a $10,000 example, they're going to get $7,000 if they pass away in their first year or second year, excuse me. So you're actually adding more value to your clients by going that route. And then obviously year three, the full 10,000 is in effect. So A, you're doing better by the client again. They got a good company to work with, great customer experience. B, there's more value to them. So if they pass away, they're able to leave behind more for their family. And then lastly, American Amicable is going to pay you a hell of a lot more and a lot faster than you would get through AIG. So it's a win-win-win all the way around there, guys. So, I just want to leave you guys with this, before you pivot to AIG, if you have American Amicable and you're contracted with them already, go through the questionnaires first. It literally takes you 60 seconds to figure it out, maybe 120. I mean, it's super fast. You'll figure it out. And if you can't get them with American Amicable, then go to AIG. So do that. It's a service for your clients. It's a service for you. It's going to put more money in your pocket. That way you can buy more leads, you can run more business, and just do more. So just leave you with that. Hope that makes sense. You guys got any questions? Shoot me an email, shoot me a text if you have my number. Gage, I hope I answered your question. And with that, I'm going to pass it right back over to Gravy.
Good job, dude.
Gravy.
Thank you.
Gravy.
Okay, perfect. So the main thing is I see you guys out there working. I see you buying leads, and my goal is to put more money in your pocket. So AMM's a great product to pivot to. Of course, there's also Trans. John Hancock's quite leaning on their term. But like a couple of things too, like in this past week, like you would think AFib, right? Atrial fibrillation, which is where you almost have like your heart ablation. I think of the verb is ablated. They like cut your valve in your heart, and you've got to help it flutter and do heart things. AFib. Okay, you hear it, atrial fibrillation. That sounds like a big deal. AIG, no, approved Americo. Parkinson's, right? Parkinson's, where you can have brain issues and have forgetful challenges, and you take a serious Dopida, I think is the medication, Clopida. Yeah, it's rough. Approved American Eagle, right? Insulin diabetics, approved American Eagle. So like, don't jump to AIG. You're doing your client a disservice by not doing more research. Use that in-home help channel more, right? We all do our best to respond in there. And if someone responds with the wrong answer, I'll delete it. Okay, so you'll always have the right answer that's left in there. And that's a big thing that I want to encourage you guys to do, is to, service your client the best you can. And I'll always tell you straight away if it's AIG, but don't jump to it yet. Probably some of you are losing 30, 40, 50% of your income could be increased by using these other carriers. That's why we're brokers and we don't work at State Farm, okay? We're brokers, so we can shop around and get the best coverage for our clients. So, woo, awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you, Julius. Good stuff, good numbers. Great to everyone. Okay, let's bring on some of these speakers today. I want to get on here Matt Saunders. He's going to share with you a pretty incredible story about how he's come from, let me do this, or he has, where's he at? He's up in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And let's see if we can get him on here. You there, buddy? I hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
You hear him?
Can you hear me?
I hear you, dude. Is that working? Mm-hmm. Look at us, technology. What's up, buddy? Where you at right now?
Yeah, I'm at my home office right now.
I love it, dude. And you got the how to book more appointments over there. How many appointments you have today and tomorrow?
Today and tomorrow I have 8.
8. There you go.
8 appointments today and tomorrow. 16 in the next 4 or 5 days.
There you go, bro. 16, making it happen. So, excellent, Matt. I'm happy you could come on. I know you've been doing some big things. You've written about, 15, 17, 18, 19,000 the past 2-3 weeks. You work your butt off, and you're brand new to this industry. And so that's what's kind of exciting about your story, is being new to the industry. And so everyone on here is just our team, the same people you see in Slack. I mean, I'm sure Al's on here cheering you on, jumping up and down. And I just wanted you to come on and kind of share a little bit about you. And then we kind of jump into some different things like the leads you're working, some sales tips you have, because you're not selling these big premiums just out of luck and hope. You're selling them because you've got a good way to connect with the client. You've got a good way to kind of draw out them what their need is. And I want you to share some stuff with everybody today. So okay. The floor is yours, my friend.
So thanks. I appreciate you having me on, Grady. I started out as a pile driver in the Pile Drivers Union before this. I built bridges all the way. I started as an apprentice. I went to a superintendent, was there for about 13 years. And then life happened. I fell down and I came back home. Al found me while I was living in my car in a parking lot on ZipRecruiter. And he started talking to me, and I moved back home, and I had no money in my pocket. I was working a job as a mechanic for $500 a week under the table, trying to put every penny I possibly could into getting this started, what Al presented me with. And I remember I had $380 in my pocket when I finally got contracted and I was ready to go out. And Al gave me some leads that were like 4 and 5 years old, and they were 6 hours away from my place. I had this car that was, questionable at best if it was even going to make it that far. And I told my employer, I'm like, hey, I need 3 days to call and go run these appointments. And he fired me. And so I called, I set the appointments. I ran over there. I sold a couple of them the first day. I sold the first 3. I slept in my car in a Walmart parking lot and then went and ran the leads the next day.
Dude.
And I came back out of it. I came home with like $9,200 issue paid. And then I put every single penny that I had into it back into the business. And the first 3 weeks, I think it was somewhere around $15,000, $18,000 and just continue to put it back into the business and back into the business. But Al's support and your support like that has been key.
Dude, that is a powerful story, man. you know, everyone's got a background, but I don't think anyone on this call with the internet and a cell phone in their hand was sitting in their car 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So Jesus, man, congratulations on, you know, it's the thing about it's in you, right? You're a hardworking guy. Like you just needed the right vehicle and you found the right vehicle now. And now you get to reap the profits of your internal person who's just got this desire to do well, man. That's some crazy numbers. How's life changed for you in the past? I mean, drastically, I would imagine.
Yeah,
but
it's been absolutely crazy. I'm jamming 20 years, 30 years of knowledge into weeks, months that you guys have, you know, and it's just been amazing to me, like the support that I got from Al. Like I didn't know anything on my first appointment, you know. I went in there and I'm like, okay, what do? I knew that I had, you know, my financial inventory and I had to go through that. I had to call Al, right? And then, you know, I do it and I call Al and bam, picks up, and there he was. And we didn't end up selling that first policy there, but after that I knew, I'm like, my confidence was, I don't need to know this stuff right now. I'll learn as I go. But Al's going to pick up and he's going to help me all the way through. And he did every single time. And we got through it. And now, you know, I still call him every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
But things are just crazy. I'm continuing to put every penny I possibly can back.
What kind of leads are you buying now? So you worked those age leads. Al had some age leads that he got out of the archive, dug them out of the backyard and threw them at you, and you made some money out of them. You know, all leads work, right? I got agents that buy leads and they go, you know, I got 30 brand new leads that came in the back 24 hours and no one answered. Well, did you call them once? Well, I thought about I called them one time at, you know what I mean? Like right there, how to book more books.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. You know, just like Mark Mead said, you know, in his video, you know, I'm not here to reinvent the wheel. You guys have all done all the successful people, all done all this failing for us and given us the key to success. You know, all I did, I'm working probably 6 different lead vendors, from aged leads, new leads, mortgage protection, mailers. You know, I'd like to get to $2,000 a week in leads or more.
That's how you write 500 a month. That's how you write 500 a year, 2,000 a week.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get that dialed in, but right now it's about $1,000 a week that I'm able to put back into leads. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Good for you. So what are the 3 you're buying regularly aside from aged? Do you have a favorite vendor you're using? Or
yeah, I really like Leadrilla. I use Leadrilla, and I've got all of them going. I've got the mortgage protection in counties surrounding me, and I got the final expense. I love their CRM. I love the way they text somebody as soon as they call. Some of them even call me first. You know, They already know who I am. You know, Matt Saunders from the Senior Benefits Office. Oh, hey, how are you? You know, and I go Secure Agent Leads. I like them too. I use them. And then I've got another vendor, LeadStar. I also buy up all of the old leads from our CRM in every area around me that I could possibly find.
That's good, man.
I love some of my biggest policies have been on dollar leads.
Yeah.
You know.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Working it, man. That's great. So I mean, the message is just you just work all the leads, all the different leads. Everything works if you work it.
Yeah.
So when you sit down to dial, like walk us through your dial day. Like, what does your dial day look like?
Man, I'm getting better at it. You know, it was really difficult for me to get to where I needed to be. And it was the time in between my calls, the way I was trying to set up, you know, in the beginning, I'm very organized. So I had to have everything color coded. And so I sit down and I listen. 8 o'clock for me is when all our trainings mostly happen. So most of the time I'll listen to our training at 8, and then I come and start dialing. And I dial until I run out of resolving my leads, or I run out of leads, and then I run my appointments. I haven't got to where I need to be yet, but I will, you know. But that just tells me with what I've done so far that there's so much room to grow.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
so
good.
much.
So what are your usual dials and run days? Are you Monday, Thursday like all of us?
Monday, Thursday. Yeah.
Cool. And then
Monday, and if there's time in between, like if there's time on a Thursday or Wednesday morning, Tuesday morning, something like that, you know, that I'll dial more if I have that option, or if somebody cancels in between on those days, I'll door knock and make a couple of phone calls, whatever it takes.
It's good, man. So give me, 9,000 in 2 days, 15,000 first week, 2 weeks. What are some things that you say in the home that maybe you haven't heard other people say that's kind of like a unique line you do? Maybe something you do when you walk in the house, something what you say when you're leaving the house to help solidify the sale. Like, what are a couple of unique Matt Saunders things that you can share with everybody?
I don't know that I have a couple of unique Matt Saunders things. I came into this with
You definitely have some unique Matt Saunders.
I have Grady things. I use every time, like when I go and get the account and routing information, and also can I get some water? Because I've been talking a lot, and I got this white foamy stuff in my mouth that works every single time, And in the beginning, I like to find their why pretty.
Talk about that. So how do you do that?
What?
How do you do that?
I asked, well, it's all on here, like who their beneficiary is, when you're going.
So after the end, so you're down on the bottom part, and you talk about beneficiary. Who's this going to go to? Like, when do you dig into it for a second?
When do I dig into them? Like, I'll look, well, when you go into the house, you can see certain things around in the surroundings. Like, you can kind of tell what somebody's interested in if they have 10 cats, or dogs. I love to pet dogs, or, they have an award of theirs that's hanging on the wall or something like that, then just for a second, I got to develop that trust, because, they don't trust you right as soon as you walk in the door. So I got to develop some sort of relationship right in the beginning. And I talk to them for a second before I really dive into it. And I use everything that you guys, all the tools that you've given me, I take all the objections away right from the beginning with the financial inventory. I explain, I hand them the credibility sheet, and I say, hey, what I am is a broker and a field underwriter, and this is why, and this is what we do. And I do what you did. I underline that we're going to find something that's affordable, comfortable, and then I box in, at the end of this, we got to even see if you qualify, and that takes away the objection right there. The biggest one of, I got to think about it. Well, that's perfect, because, we got to see if you qualify.
Right.
So everything that I've learned, I just implement from what you guys have taught me. And I watch the videos and trainings over and over and over.
Tell me about that. So what do you commit to training? Like, do you listen to half the calls, some of the calls? What's your commitment to training? And then, like, on an ongoing basis, kind of what have you dug into?
My commitment to training is I watch every single phone call, every single webinar, every video that I can get my hands on as much as possible. If I've set an appointment for the time because I couldn't set it for any other time, then I'll miss, a phone call.
Sure.
But most likely while I'm driving to the next one, I will be putting it on if it's recorded so that I can listen to some of it. I may only listen to half, but I'm going to catch up on it eventually and sometime, because I'm starting to build an agency as well. And I got to be able to set that example for them, because they need, that's what got me going. Like, I watched Matt Smith's Psychology and Sales and Handling Objections like 50 times before I went into my first appointment.
That's good, man. I remember when I first started, there was a call Trey Honeycutt did. It's still on Agency Dojo on Final Expense in-home. And I probably listened to that thing just shy of 100 times. Because, like, between every appointment, I would listen to it. Because, like, I didn't know what to say. Like, I had no idea what to say. And, like, I try to be available to a lot of you guys, but, like, Andrew was, like, not available. Like, he's like, hey, how many leads you dial? I was like, 200. He's like, okay, keep dialing. And he'd hang up on me. And I'm like, this is my fearless leader guy? It's great. I decided to work with a guy who's really busy. So, like, this is great. But it's all worked out very well. But what I would do is I would listen it over and over and over and over again. And then when I'm sitting in the home, as I'm walking to the table, I remember this line Trey says. He says, okay, Dolores, it seems like you're looking for some final expense coverage. Is that right? And they go, yeah. And it's like setting it like right there in the beginning, then versus like us sitting down and playing this song and dance. Like, I'm here to, like, look at your spoon collection versus, like, I'm here to, like, talk actually about life insurance. So, and he says it like that. So he's walking to the table. So, Dolores, it seems like you're looking for some life insurance. Is that right? Yeah. Perfect. Now you're, like, in the mode. Perfect. And then you're just working through it. And so I took that line and I've said it, 1,000 times on all the appointments I've been on from listening to Trey say it over and over and over again. So I see that in you is your commitment to continuing to learn is why it just, like, it comes out of you involuntarily. Like, you don't even have to think and it comes out of you. And you know why? Because you're you're washing out all these bad habits and these bad word tracks. And not that that they were bad, you just didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
Awesome,
it's
man.
great. And, you know, for new agents, you know, I mean,
Any
there's,
final advice you got to some new agents out there that are watching?
you know, the stumbling and falling on your face over and over, you know, I get a lot where you want to know everything about all the products and, you know, you want to know how to do things. And going in, just like you said earlier, going in, calling your upline and asking for help while you're in the appointment the first time, falling on your face, and then going and watching like Trey Honeycutt or Matt Smith handling objections in home. Your videos, your presentations are amazing. I give those to everybody, and then do it again, and
Yep.
then do it again. And don't be afraid to fail. It's going to happen. You're just going to learn how to get better each time. And every time you're going to learn something and get better. Don't be afraid to fail. The people that, and just pay attention to what you guys say, because, you know, it's, you guys have all done all this failing, like I said, and given us the key to success. You know,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I'm not a millionaire. I don't make as much money as, you know, Andrew Taylor, but he gave me the key on how to.
That's right, man. Great attitude. Awesome, Matt. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you for taking some time.
Yeah.
He moved an appointment to come on here with us, so I won't make you do it again. We'll have you on in a couple months when you're rocking and rolling, hitting sales manager and senior sales manager and whatnot. So, great job, Matt. Powerful story. Appreciate you for sharing everything you've shared, and I'm proud to be in business with you, man.
Yeah,
Are you going to come to the November 21st event in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Awesome. Well, that's interesting correlation. People that seek training and get better seem to sell a lot more insurance, and people that make excuses seem to not sell a lot of insurance. So I applaud you, man. Looking forward to seeing you there. We'll have some good time. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Thanks,
all right, bye, buddy.
Bye.
Awesome. That was cool, man. That's a powerful story right there. So great job, Matt. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's next, we're going to get on Gage Peart, and he's coming to us. I'm not going to steal his story, but he's got another powerful story of just a brand new to the industry. And what's fun about this is that, you know, at Family First Life, we help you get your license. We help you with what to do. We help you kind of move down this path of learning all this new stuff if you'll just commit to the learning. So you see, we got you there, Gage. I see you, but let's turn on your microphone. I think, there we go.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, there you are, buddy.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, I just want to say nice job this week, my man. 9 apps, 7,006 issue paid, bro. That's good, man. And how many weeks you been with us?
So I started running about the second week of August is when I got out in the field.
Second week of August, doing 7,000 5-6 weeks later, buddy. That's really awesome, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just a testimony to the training that we have available to us, to be honest with you, Grady.
Awesome. Well, yeah, give us a quick backstory. Where are you, tell us how you found us, where you're from. Let us know a little bit about you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm from Illinois originally. I graduated college in 2017 with a recreation and hospitality management degree. And I really went down that path is because I liked helping people. And that's something that I always wanted to achieve. And I moved down here to Dallas, Texas, just looking for opportunities and jobs. And I got in with a recreation facility, working with them and sitting behind a desk, just scanning cards and setting up programs. And I just realized this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Sure.
So then I got into the hotels, started getting the hospitality. And that's where I was at before I joined Family First Life. And about back in January, I was introduced to Jordan Lowry through an old friend in an Instagram DM. She just said, "Hey, Jordan Lowry's my friend Jordan's moved to Dallas, Texas. He doesn't know anybody. Like, do you care if I give him your number?" And so we met up. We actually were watching some NFL playoff games at a wing bar, and he told me a little bit about what he was doing, and it went through one year, not the other. I was like,
sure.
Life insurance? Yeah, I can't do that. So of course he was telling me about the opportunity and how, you get the opportunity to be your own boss and be, your own producer. So again, that was back in January. Fast forward about 5 months, I was miserable in my job. I wasn't getting any growth opportunities available to me. It was the same thing every day. And then Jordan had reached out to me because he had heard that I was looking for a job and just asked me what it was going to take. And I really just told him that, that as long as he would help me get started, I'd take that leap of faith. And it was me reading a book at that time, and just that book explaining how people don't take those leaps of faith.
What was the book?
It was called How Successful People Think.
Great book. I would read that.
Absolutely. And just explain how people who don't take those leaps just stay so complacent in their lives. And so he had sent me the exam FX. I scheduled my my test 2 weeks later.
Nice. You just didn't wait around. Went to work. Studied.
Absolutely.
Good job.
Started studying while I was at work, outside of work, and then once I passed the test, I was like, put in my 2 weeks. I was like, it's time, because I just wanted to get out of that negative environment. So once I passed that test, Texas, I don't know what it is, but it took me about 5 weeks to hear from them. So yeah. I was getting a little nervous, but that's when I reached out to Jordan. It was just like, hey man, do you care if I start just, watching you? And so for about 3 weeks, not all the time, but majority of the days, I would spend my time with Jordan, just listening to him dial, running appointments with him. And it truly was so much beneficial for me, because I got to see someone who was successful in the home, on the phone, and their work ethic. And so I have to give all credit to Jordan Lowry for believing in me before I even believed in myself. Because like I said, I didn't think there was any chance I could ever do this. So I back in June, at the beginning of June, I knew nothing about life insurance. So it just goes to show that he told me a great line that I'll never forget, that he quit listening to music and started listening to those podcasts. So since the end of May, when I work out, that's all I listen to is podcasts. There's no more music going through my ears anymore. I couldn't even tell you the popular songs anymore. So I think that's just, what has helped me the most, is just diving right into those podcasts and listening. And that's what made me truly believe in Family First Life, is I heard so many people's different background stories. I knew nothing about insurance. I had some years in insurance, but it was just all these people come from different backgrounds, and it made me believe in the system. And also your emails, sending out, hey, are you still with us, trying to learn and whatnot. And seriously, Grady, those emails kept me pushing along and getting to where I am today.
That's awesome, Gage. Dude, it's your story is unique to you, but it's one that we hear. It's people get frustrated of where they're at. They're looking for change. They're looking for a better opportunity. They're looking for a solution. They didn't feel like, hey, I went to school for 4 years to study something, and then I get my job. I've got this debt, and now I don't really like what I'm doing. And then it's just like, it's incredible that you saw it. I feel blessed. I know all of our, top producers and up and coming producers just feel blessed to be at this, because there's a lot of other insurance companies out there, but they don't pay as well as FFL does. They don't have the support system that FFL does. They don't have these top producers selflessly teaching everything that they do in the home to allow them to make the income they can, which can then you now take as a brand new producer and go just say the same word tracks that they say and go, holy cow, that worked too. So man,
absolutely.
So how's so tell me this, what kind of leads are you working?
So to be honest with you, I've been trying them all.
Okay.
And every time you post in the leads channel in Slack, I try to give it a shot. So I'd say the ones that I'm most consistently running is the social insurance. I like the DIMG, Lead Rilla. And recently I just tried out these Lead Guru.
Yeah.
They actually have it linked up to the Calendly. So yesterday when I was out in the field, I actually got 3 appointments booked without even ever calling them. So, that is just, that's phenomenal. I'm getting appointments set while I'm running appointments.
That's sick. Dude, we can't make it much easier, right? If there was a way where they would, like, Uber would go pick up the agent and bring them to like a Starbucks you could be waiting at and just have clients come in, that's about as we can make it easier. But the fact they're booking themselves on your calendar, and then it's like, it sends them reminders too. Like, it'll email you, book this appointment. It's coming up in an hour. Like, it'll remind them. I remember Ashley, when she first, like, it was one time she got a call from one of the leads at like 12:30 at night, like a random number. She answered it, and it was like Gerald in Mesa. And she's like, yeah, she's like, I didn't know if the number was real. And she goes, yeah. And then she's like, yeah, I'm real. I just in my office late. And she booked the appointment for the next day and sold it. Yeah. And that's like, what's so crazy is these vendors are coming out with new ways to make these leads more enticing, which is great for us as the consumer of leads. And so that's the big thing, is try them all, use them all. Sometimes one goes soft. It'll take 6 days to get an order in. Sometimes one's popping in. You get your whole order in 24 days. But just be a chameleon with leads. And it's a testament to your early success. 4, 5, 6 weeks in, already trying 4, 5, 6 different lead vendors. So
yeah,
I want you to talk about your door knocking savagery, because like you are, I love just watching your posts in the Slack channel, because you go above and beyond. And so I know there's a couple, just let me share a couple of things that successes you've had from door knocking, and when you decide to go door knock.
Yeah, absolutely. So trust me, I was very, very nervous to door knock. I didn't want to get out the car. But truly why I've been door knocking is because I haven't been reaching my appointment goals. So one thing that I stick to is the attitude and activity. So, the more work you put in, the better results you're going to get. And I don't remember exactly which door knock it was, but the first one where they actually allowed me into the home, it was so funny. She was behind, the initial glass door talking to me, and was like, oh, we don't need that. We don't need that. And the mother comes out, the younger mother, and it's like, don't lie to him. You haven't taken care of that.
Ooh, wow.
And so it was just like, that is when it hit me that people are just going to say things to get you to go away. So digging into, someone might tell you, oh, I already have a policy. Oh, great. Who do you have it with? And really ask that question back to them to really throw them off, so you can get the real truth out of them. But one thing that I do every time before is I always put the phone number onto my phone, and then I put it right to their face and say, is this your phone number? After I ask, if they're home and they say that's them, I say, is this your phone number? And then I kind of pull it back, so then they're kind of like looking towards it and trying to see if that's their number. And typically it's usually their number. And what I learned, what really given me confidence in door knocking, is that call that Andrew Taylor did with Sahid or Samid, or I don't want to track his name. Yeah, Sahil.
Yeah, and he's 21 out in like Barstow.
Yeah, absolutely. And just listening to that podcast and how he has that approach, and he'd rather door knock. And then once I started getting some success with the door knocking, I realized that people are a lot nicer in person than over the phone. And so just trying to resolve all the leads. Usually what I do is when I have my appointments booked for the next day or two, I look in the areas that I'm going to be and make a list each day on what other leads in that area that I can door knock in between appointments. And so I'm just keeping that attitude and activity up. But I'm also just, one line that I always say is, my office scheduler was trying to get a hold of you, and I'm just the field underwriter that they send out to make sure you're okay, because we haven't heard from you, and you did inquire about some life insurance or final expense burial cover, so we just want to make sure you're okay. And usually they're like, yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine. And so it's just initially breaking down that barrier on a stranger's knocking on my door, but actually I have your phone number, and your favorite color is blue, right? Or your favorite color is pink, right? Or your dream vacation is to go to Bahamas. That's what you gave us. So then it's given me credibility and really knocking down that barrier to actually have a conversation with them. And trust me, there's many homes that I go to that they don't allow me to come in the home, or they tell me they're not interested, and I dig in why, and then they just keep giving me no. So that's fine, and it's going to happen. But I'm not hitting the amount of appointments that I want to run each day. So that's why I continue to door knock, because I want to continue to increase my numbers and to meet with more people. So
I love
that's
it,
just a
man.
little bit about it.
I love it, man. So any final tips, things that you say in the home? Any Gage originals that you've got, or Gage or Matt Smith originals that you always say that you heard and this is your favorite thing to say, whatever. Your floor is yours.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would highly recommend to all new agents and current agents who've been with us for a while to listen to that Millie Porcina podcast with Mark Mead. And she just breaks down. I mean, she's one of the top producers in the whole company. So
number 2 in the company, yeah.
Yeah. I've listened to it 5 times because the way she just goes through and flows and sets the table. She's all talking about setting the table and taking control in the home. So that's what I always try to do. As soon as they open up the door, I stick out my hand to give a firm handshake to them, because I want to be credible from the get-go. Yep. And then I ask for the table, is there a table we can sit at? So instantly just taking control and not trying to, get that small talk. And then on the way to that table is when you look in the home and really assess the situation. And then just going in and telling them about myself. I give a brief intro about myself and, what I do and who I represent. And then I tie it around in what we specialize in. And then I've been solely running final expense. I haven't dove into mortgage protection yet, but I say, we specialize in mortgage protection. We specialize in final expense, burial coverage. And I say that because sometimes when you just say life insurance, people freak out about that. So I always like to say burial insurance and life insurance, along with future retirement income planning. But today we're here for final expense, right? You were looking for to take care of that today, right? And typically they're like, yeah. And then just digging in their why. What was your primary goal when you filled out that form? Were you just looking to cover your final expenses, or were you looking to leave a legacy for your adult children or your grandbabies? And sometimes, a lot of older seniors, they don't have the best relationships with their kids, but they have great relationships with their grandkids. So just trying to figure out on, who they care about and why,
really good.
Why this is important, because this is an emotional sell. You got to find where the emotion is into it. But I don't have any Gage originals. I mean, truly, everything I say and do has come from the training and listening to you and the way you present. And I mean, that's really what it is. It's just using the financial inventory to build the rapport. I don't build the rapport beforehand. I tell them what we're doing, and then I dig into the financial inventory sheet to build the rapport through the financial inventory sheet.
Dude, I love it. I love it, man. It's a testament again to watching the trainings, following the system, and now what's happening. Gage is having massive success. Bank account going the right direction?
I mean, I've never seen my bank account look like it does right now. But one more thing that I do want to add in on the in-home tips is the brochures. That was one thing that I took away from one of the videos that you've given us, is it gives you more credibility. And then it gives them something to look at, and they're not just listening to me. I am a stranger coming into their home, but I had this sheet that explains, the product thoroughly. And I always try to emphasize on the living benefits, the accelerated death benefits. And seriously, yesterday I sat with a lady who had 2 policies already, and she made it through the 2-year waiting period, right? And then I just explained to her about the accelerated death benefits, and she told me she had never heard about that. And so with me just emphasizing on that, she ended up getting the policy because it came with those benefits. So just getting those brochures, they're free. You just call the carriers, they'll send them out to you in a week or so, and then it gives you so much more credibility when you're sitting down with the individuals you're meeting with.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Yeah, the living benefits are clutch. When you really start to explain those and show them, never expire, level benefit, guaranteed price, builds cash value, and living benefits. This is why the whole life policy is the best coverage for you, Dolores, right? It's just,
Absolutely.
It's money when you say like that. And then even like if you're already in your head going numerical, you make a 6th point and you say double accidental.
Yeah.
Double.
I usually say double indemnity. And then
I don't know what indemnity means. So
they're like, what is double indemnity? And
I don't know what it means either. What does that mean?
But it just, I feel like when I say that, it gives me more credibility. And they're like, okay, what is that?
Hey, say smart things. People think you're smart. I love it, dude. But I don't know. What does indemnity mean? Do you guys use that? Did you use that word?
I remember.
Is it just mean accidental death? I mean, is it just fancy?
I think it's just a church stub word for accidental.
Church stub word. I like it. Well, I'm going to start throwing it around. I'm saying my boy Gage taught me indemnity. So, hey, you watch out. Don't get an indemnity on the way home, Julius. Bro, I appreciate you coming on, man. I want to get my man Shawn on here, but you are fantastic. Gage, thank you so much. You keep rocking and rolling. If you need anything, reach out to me. If you need any help in the home, reach out to me. I know you were even talking about hiring a little bit here, moving, but
yep.
You always do it the right way. Like agents come in and they go, hey, you can build an agency. I go, yes. Have you sold a policy? No. Okay, well, go do that first. Okay, I need you just to at least know to answer some basic questions if you want to bring people in our company. And if not, you're not going to be here very long because you can't make money just off overrides. When you start, you have to go sell. And it's fun too. You know what's fun? I left my house at 8 yesterday, got home at 9, made a few grand yesterday, met a bunch of people, ate some pie, drank some tea, got rubbed on by cats. Like it was just, it's the best business ever. Like you go in these unique situations, you're going like yesterday, I'm not even kidding. I knocked on the house. I'm like, is David home? She's like, no, David doesn't live here. I'm like, David doesn't live here. No, he moved to California. I'm like, he booked the appointment 2 days ago. And she goes, yeah, he just moved away. Thank you. So come on, Ash. Close your computer, please. All right. So there we go. Figuring it out over here. So she goes, what is he booking an appointment for? I said, I bet for insurance, if something happened, if he died or got disabled, to pay off the house. And she goes, oh, well, I want that. And so I roll in and I sold her and her husband a policy. Like, she's like, well, how much does that cost? I was like, how old are you? She's like, 51. I was like, how old's your husband? 58. $45 a month. She's like, okay. I'm like, that was incredible. And then I called David and I was like, why did you move to California? He's like, I don't know. And it was a mess. But like, people want this stuff, man. So that's what's cool. So good job, man. Keep rolling. I loved it. Looking forward to having you on again in the future, Gage.
Absolutely. It was an honor being on here today, Grady. Thank you very much.
God, buddy. All right, we'll talk more soon. Bye. Okay. All right, last one. I'm going to bring in the fire, my man Shawn Taylor. Let's get him on here. Promote the panelist. There's Shawn?
Yes, I'm here.
Buddy. Hey, buddy.
What's
I
going
see you,
on?
man. You got the headset on and everything. You're ready to dial.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I wanted to have you on here. I know you've been rocking and rolling this week so far. You did, let's see, how'd you do this week? Shawn did 4 apps for 6,624. And you're up in Vegas, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Up in Vegas. So I know you've been kicking butt. I know you work right with our man Jam, who's one of our top producers, up and coming rising star managers. And I know he always speaks very highly about you and your awesome attitude. So I just wanted you to come on for a few minutes, kind of, share your story with us.
Absolutely. Well, I actually been in the insurance business for 5 years. Okay. Started with farmers, going door to door, just asking for a policy review because, farmers is kind of high. So I had to, that's how I started. Then I started selling over the phone with Select Quote. And then I just recently left North Star back in January.
You've been all over the place. And then you found home.
Absolutely. My biggest thing was with this, my struggles with FFL going face to face was I was looking for immediate gratification.
Okay.
And what I meant by that is like I was dialing out, but I wasn't booking appointments. So I was like, forget it. I'm going to just go door knock. But I wasn't consistent about anything. But now when I really just focus in, Grady, the results are there. So, yeah, pretty.
So tell me, so aside from your insurance, so you live in Vegas, married kids, anything like that?
I have 4 kids, a 10, 9, a 3, and a 2-year-old.
Hey, there you go. I got 3. You got me beat.
Well, I want a couple more. So when I reach 30, I'm only 27 now. So when I reach 30, better financial. I wanted a total of 6 when I was in high school.
Dude,
So,
that's awesome. That's awesome. You got a lot of love to give, man.
man.
So, all right. So tell me more. So tell me about your lead situations. I know we've been talking a lot. We've been working on phone script. We've been working on, you're killing it in the in-home still. But give me so your lead situation, you left this other company. Now you're here. What's been the leads like since you've come over? What have you been working?
Since the only leads that I've been working has been age leads. I mean, I tried a few, new leads, but as of right now, I'm only working age leads.
So what's your approach on them?
Leads are leads. If I could get somebody on the phone, I'm going to do the best I can to set the appointment. If I can't set the appointment, I'm going to go door knock either that same day or, sometime this week. Like I have a bunch of age leads right now, so I'm trying to get an answer to every lead by either calling them or I'm going to go door knock. And then when I door knock, it's just a little bit different approach from.
Tell us, what do you do?
So first off, I don't know if you can see it. You see my lead right here?
Yep.
So I draw, hey, so as soon as they answer the door, it's like, hey, we called you 3 times with no answer. And then sometimes I'll even put the date, like, hey, I came by on Tuesday, or, if it depends on, sometimes I would hit people 2 or 3 times in the same day. I would take 20 leads out and I would just keep going through the same leads until I save them. So right here, then when I reach to the door, it's just, hey, Grady, we've been trying to get a hold of you for a long time to solve this matter. It builds curiosity at first. Like, hey, what matter are you talking about? This is the postcard that you mailed back in. Hey, all of this is just for me to give you the information. Then I ask a little bit questions before I, invite myself into the house. Why was this important for you to send this off? As soon as I get them to talking, in the middle of them talking, when I get an answer hey, if we could sit down for a quick second, I just want to show you everything that we have to offer. And, it's no obligation. It's just a free consultation.
Do you get pushback on that, or do they let you right in?
Absolutely, I get pushback, especially with me being young and going to these. I get pushback, but it's I act like I don't even hear it. So, the first time they'll say no, I'm like, I totally understand. But you said you want to get this for your wife. Is that correct? And they will say yes, and then we'll talk a little bit more. Then I ask again, invite myself in. Okay. And then, so most time it takes the second or third time, and then finally I'm inside the house.
Bounce and rebuttal, and then they go, okay, I want to see what you got.
Absolutely.
What are you teasing them with? I got to get this packet out to you. I have the options. I'm a broker. What are you throwing at them?
It all depends on the conversation.
Okay.
Sometimes when if you were to tell me when I asked, hey Grady, why did you get this in place, or why did you send this postcard back in?
I was worried about if I died, my wife wouldn't be able to afford the house.
Absolutely. Grady, let me show you a few ways how you could protect your wife in the event of something like that's happening. Is that what you're interested in? And they would say, all right, here, if we take 5 minutes, we could just sit down at your table. It doesn't take that long.
I don't have time right now.
I totally understand though. But when you sent this back in, Grady, and you was protecting your wife, what made you, why now? Why did you wait?
I sent it in 2 years ago.
Absolutely. So what happened from the time that you were thinking about it, Grady? What happened then until,
Nothing. I haven't gotten it yet.
Perfect. Grady, since this only took 5 to 10 minutes, let's go ahead and sit down so I can show you how you could protect your wife. And then I would just kind of start walking in a little bit, sometimes have my foot in the door, depends on how the conversation's going.
I love it. Okay, so I like all that. Let me give you a couple of things too. One, people want what they can't have. Okay, so in that regard, protecting my wife, that's important to me. But it hasn't been a priority for me for a year or two, right? It's what I would add to what you're doing. Okay, if you want some feedback, is it okay if I coach you right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So what I would add to it, would say, okay, perfect. So I was just this, I would frame it I was reassigned to this. We got your request in for coverage, and we don't show anyone has closed out this file. So my job is just to find out if you'll get approved, right? When you start to use words like find out, or we don't know if you're going to get approved, or what most people do is they like to find out if they have options. You're taking it from them being in control. They're like, do I want to meet with you or not? To now you're in control on deciding whether or not you're going to help them apply or not. And when you can kind of twist their arm to adjust it from them thinking that they get to decide what's happening to I'm in control. I'm here. It's official, right? I'm here. I've got my clipboard. And I don't know if you're going to get approved. I have to get this. I've got to go through this right now. It just takes about 5 minutes. I see your kitchen table over there. You have a few minutes right now, or would you like to book an appointment for later today or tomorrow?
Makes sense.
So when you adjust it a little bit to, I don't know if you'll get approved. I'm just a field underwriter. Using words like send in a request for coverage, it adds a little bit. So you're like right on track. But if you just tweak it a little bit, I think you'll get even better results because you're out there doing the work. Like, how many door knocks are you doing a day?
It all depends. Actually, right now I'm working part-time.
Okay.
Because our babysitter left. So what happens, me and my lady, we're switching off.
Okay.
So if I don't book enough appointments when I'm watching my kids, I will go door knock. So it may be 10 door knocks a day. And the days that she off, depends on how many appointments, it would be either 15 or 20 door knocks.
Look at you, man. Okay, so give me some Shawn Taylor sales tips because you're not selling 6,600 in a week by just hopes and dreams. So, like, give me some things that you say that are unique to you. Some things that maybe you learned from your career being in the industry that now you're like, oh, I learned this thing 4 years ago and I say it all the time. And no one in FFL says this, but this is something that I do. Like, what are some things that are special to you?
I don't know if anything is special. I know what I do. I make them defend their answer. So, for example, you just told me you want to protect this for your wife. So, Grady, in the event of that happening, what does that situation look like?
If I don't get the coverage or?
Correct. If you don't get the coverage, let's say if you were to pass away unexpectedly, if you didn't wake up this morning, Grady, you had a peaceful sleep and you never woke up, what does that situation look like for your wife?
She'd have to go back to work.
It'd
be a mess. Yeah, it'd be a mess.
So now right here, Grady, this is the time where I would like really dive in deep. I would say, so she would go back to work. So let me ask you this. In the midst of her grieving, trying to think about how she's going to take care of your bills, take care of the family, and then trying to find a job, how difficult would that be for her?
Oh, it'd be very difficult. It'd be very difficult.
So actually, that's why we're talking today, though, Grady. And then it all depends on like how much of a warm up I did. Like, it depends on the answer they told me. And,
Sure.
I may dive in a little bit more. Do you have any family that she could depend
on? Kinda. I mean, her mom lives in California.
Absolutely. How old is her mom, Grady?
70.
So, I mean, who knows what may happen? Not saying, I'm not wishing death on her, but it may not be the same situation. She would have to pack up everything, try to sell the house. And that's not what you want, though. Is that correct?
No, not at all.
And then I would just try to dive in deep a little bit more. So this is why I'm here. I don't know. When I'm in a home, I don't know if you do qualify, Grady, but I'm going to do everything I can to make sure you get this protection in place. Because, women want to feel secure, and men want to feel like the protection. So I use the words like protection, psychology words on that. And then I just keep moving forward.
Good. So men want to protect and women want to feel secure. Those are good words. I want to write those down. That was good. That was very good.
And then
that's good. So you dig in, you ask, and then you dig, and then you ask, and you make them sit in it for a second so they can feel it. Like, what's she gonna do if you're gone? A peaceful sleep. Wake up. Don't wake up. She's got to deal with the bills. What's she gonna do? She would probably move to California.
Mm-hmm. And then even with that, let's say that she do move to California. You told me you had a little bit retire or a little bit in saving. Yeah. How much money do you think that she would possibly need at this very moment to cover your expenses and move to California, Grady?
A few $100,000 probably.
Absolutely. That's just including, but I'm just talking, let's talk about for that right now. Let's say if you were to pass away, how much do you think she would need for the next 3 months?
50,000.
Yeah, that's where I start narrowing down the, make them feel the face amount, if that makes sense.
That's good.
So, we could talk about the house. The house is something tangible. But when you start adding things like, the moving expenses, hey, Grady, you have 3 kids. So what does that look like? She's doing everything on her own, trying to find a job. And then in the midst of her moving while planning your funeral. But then think about this, Grady. Females are always more emotional. So do you think that she would be able to manage that all at one time, especially trying to come up with the money for your final arrangements or to take care of the house? Depends on what type of lead it is.
No, she'd be a mess.
And that's right there. I didn't do it right here, but most of the time I will assume the sale almost after every statement they give me. So what I mean by that, when you said, well, she would have to move to California. Well, hey, this is why I could understand, Greg, why this is important for you. That's why I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure we get something in place so she feels she is protected. And then when you told me that she would have to go get a job, well, evidently, Grady, she haven't been working this long, so you don't want her to put her in that position. Is that correct? So that's why we're going to go ahead and get something in place for you today. And I constantly say that like 3 or 4 times throughout the whole presentation.
Soft close, soft close, soft close.
So yeah.
That's awesome, Shawn. Dude, thank you for sharing. Protection and secure. I'm using that tomorrow. Good, man. Protection and secure. Man, listen, sir, I know you want to protect her. And ma'am, I know you want to feel secure. Are you just throwing it in there? That's what this policy creates. It puts something in place where we put a guarantee of protection. Mm-hmm. And now you're going to be secure. Ooh, bro, switching me up, man. I love it. That was good.
Appreciate it.
Awesome, Shawn. Well, you're working your butt off. I know you're out there door knocking. What's an average, like on a good dial day? What's an average amount of dials you're going to throw down?
So right now with these age leads, I'm at, just for today, I started at like 9:30. I'm at 154. So dials. Yeah, with 3 solid appointments. Some of them were just like, they wasn't solid enough, so I'll try to book a little bit more.
Sure.
But on the average dial day, like right now when I have my kids, I'm shooting for at least 300 to 400 dials.
That's awesome, bro.
You know, with these age leads.
That's awesome. Well, the lead, that's good, man. The way you look at the business and a lot of things in life, when you're getting started in something, you have less money, but you've got more time. So right now you've got a little more time. Your money's starting to pick up, so then you're going to take that money and reinvest in the leads, and then you can have more of your time back, but you're using some of your money to leverage, right?
Absolutely.
So it's great, man. You're doing what it takes. A lot of people come in here and they make 14 dials and they walk back out the door. And I say, hey, nothing's gonna change that way. So I applaud you, man. I'm glad to have you here. Sorry about the bumpy road you had to go down to find FFL, but we're not gonna wrong you here, brother. We're gonna for a long time, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Got it, man. All right, thank you so much for coming on, Shawn. Keep us posted on your successes. Great job this week.
Thank you.
You got it, buddy. Bye, ground. All right, guys. What a fun call. What a fun call. A lot of good. I mean, those could have been 3 calls. That could have been 3 calls. Maybe we'll start to do this. These guys are so freaking good. I need to break it up more. But thank you, Matt Saunders. Thank you, Gage. And thank you, Shawn, for coming on and sharing. Appreciate Julius with his detailed training on AIG versus AMAM, but also learning that, don't jump right to AIG. Use in-home help, get some answers. And when you use in-home help, make sure you're being as detailed as possible. 57, male, non-smoker, taking these medications for this. Any surgeries in the past 5 years, like the questions I say, any medications you're currently taking, anything you've been prescribed, chosen not to take, what else you've been prescribed in the past 5 years. Any surgeries are in the past 5 years, right? Yes, no, write it down, okay? Then say, hey, let me check with my officer. Let me check with my manager. Type it in home help. Call me. Call someone. My cell phone, I'll type it in here, 928-301-3695. It's the same number my grandma has. So you have you have the same number as my grandma. Text me, call me, text preferably to start, but let me help you. And when you get it, even if you don't have my number, take it down right now and shoot me a text with your full name. So I've got it. So when I get a call from a random number in Idaho, I know it's John Smith and I don't think it's someone trying to sell me Medicare. So use me, let me help you, use the in-home help, but great call, guys. Thank you for coming on. Fantastic job this week. Let's make it a great start to October here in September. For those of you that were on early, know what I mean, but we'll see you on the next call. Have a great day. Bye for now.